So it comes down to who's going to stand up for farmers. And I know that there's been very difficult decisions that we've had to make, and I know that some of those have been unpopular. But we have made the decisions, and the sector has been better.
I'm here tonight to listen to what the ministers have all had to say. I wanted to touch on the mental health issues because of the government's bullying, intimidation and lies and trickery. I've been in a very dark place for a considerable amount of time now, and it's not getting any better. And you ask for help and you don't get any. And I wanted to see what the other ministers were going to put on the table in addressing the mental health aspects, not only for the fishermen but the farmers and the community across as a whole. Unless something happens dramatically, I don't see a future at all for this industry. In fact, it is in a rapid decline at the moment. Before the reform, it was a very viable and sustainable industry, which it has been for centuries and centuries. And the fishermen that were custodians of the estuaries, the generational fishermen, fished in a way that was sustainable and viable. Now they've taken that all away for greed. And it's quite remarkable that the majority of fishermen were against it, but the minister's advisor and his brother and business partner pocket millions of dollars. How is that fair and just?
And there's 7 generational fishermen sitting here tonight, and you always fob off an independent inquiry because you say that we've already had them. So my question to the panel is, are you going to support our endeavours to have an independent inquiry to uncover the lies and the trickery and the defrauding of our property rights without compensation from this government?
I know that whatever I say tonight is not going to probably appease you, and I still firmly believe that the sector going forward will be much stronger as a result of this reform because of the poor decisions that have been made by governments over many years prior.
We have fishermen out there day in, day out. We are the best observers that you could ever have. So we know what was there and we know what is there now, and it's definitely not there anymore. Come here today because of the devastation my family's seen through the reforms. I'm actually really worried about our lake system, and I'm worried about the stocks now post-reform more than what I was before. So I come to try and get a few answers off him and try and get inside his head and see what he is actually thinking. A lot of it was made by very, very little research. And as everyone would probably know, we've spent a lot of hours out on the lake and we know a lot of information about the lake. I just hope we really get a bit more of a voice, and we know from hundreds of years on what is the best way to harvest these crabs. So I hope the size goes back and it's not a quoted fisher anymore. Quoted fishers do not work. It's been proven worldwide that they do not work, and yet we're rolling them out in 2017. So out-rolled onto all of New South Wales rather than looking at different places. So that's my sort of problem. We didn't get enough looked at and enough of a voice, I suppose.
The responses he made were a political thing, and he's only one politician, so the party it still comes back to the party making the decisions. But if it's a close election and we voice our opinions and frustrations with what's happening to our industry, then maybe they can do something about it.
Someone said to us. Are they? Oh, okay.
So let's just chase that up. We need to do
We've asked permission to come up.
Sean is through.
Ready? Yep.